Welcome to Asia in Focus, your source for deep insights into Asia's shifting geopolitical landscape. Today, we explore one of the most consequential arenas of modern geopolitics, the South China Sea, where the United States, China, Vietnam, and regional powers are redefining the balance of power. For decades, the South China Sea has been a maritime crossroads of trade, strategy, and ambition, but over the past few years, its balance has started to tilt. China's long-term goal is clear: to turn this vital sea into what many analysts call a strategic inner lake. Through artificial island construction, military outposts, and the deployment of maritime militia, Beijing has tried to expand its control without triggering direct conflict. Yet, this ambition is now facing growing resistance, not only from the United States, but also from smaller regional players, especially Vietnam and the Philippines. For Washington, the South China Sea represents far more than a distant body of water. It's a global lifeline, carrying over $3 trillion worth of goods every year. Under both the Trump and Biden administrations, the U.S. has pursued one consistent goal: to ensure freedom of navigation and prevent China from rewriting international maritime law. The approaches may differ, one relying on trade pressure, the other on alliance building, but the strategic objective remains unchanged: maintaining U.S. influence in the Indo-Pacific. Beijing, meanwhile, sees the region as central to its Great Rejuvenation vision. China has invested heavily in its navy, anti-ship missile systems, and civilian fleets, blurring the lines between state and non-state maritime actors. Its use of gray zone tactics, operations below the threshold of war, aims to gradually shift the status quo without provoking open confrontation. However, Vietnam has emerged as a quiet but formidable counterbalance. Unlike the Philippines, which leans on its defense treaty with the U.S., Vietnam follows an independent strategy, combining strong diplomacy, legal restraint, and steady military modernization. Since the 2014 oil rig crisis, Hanoi has built one of Southeast Asia's most capable coastal defenses, from Kilo-class submarines to long-range radar and anti-ship missile systems. Its philosophy is simple: if you want peace, prepare for peace, with strength. The Philippines' policy under President Marcos Jr. marks a clear shift from his predecessor. Manila has reopened its doors to U.S. forces, offering access to new strategic bases near Taiwan and the South China Sea. But this move, while strengthening deterrence, also risks deeper entanglement. Vietnam, on the other hand, avoids choosing sides. Instead, it seeks balance, partnering with both Washington and Beijing when interests align, while firmly defending its sovereignty. Japan and India are also stepping in. Tokyo provides patrol vessels, radar systems, and training to ASEAN states, while India deepens defense cooperation with Vietnam and the Philippines. This evolving network of regional security partnerships, often called the mini-Quad, shows that the South China Sea is no longer a two-player contest. It's a multipolar chessboard where every move has global implications. In this competition, Vietnam stands out as a symbol of steadiness and strategic maturity. Its bamboo diplomacy, flexible yet unbreakable, reflects a deep understanding of balance: soft when needed, firm when required. The country's recent defense exhibitions, hosting major partners from the US, Russia, Israel, and India, demonstrate not just military growth, but diplomatic confidence. The message is clear: Vietnam may seek peace, but it is never unprepared. From the U.S. perspective, Vietnam is a stabilizing partner, rather than a proxy. And from Beijing's standpoint, it's a neighbor too resilient to intimidate. That dual perception, respect from both sides, is what makes Vietnam a pivotal player. Looking ahead, the question remains: is peace in the South China Sea sustainable, or is it merely the calm before another storm? Experts believe the current peace is fragile, maintained by mutual restraint and economic interdependence. A single miscalculation could spark a chain reaction, especially as military patrols and joint exercises increase across contested waters. Yet, despite these tensions, the region has avoided open war, thanks in large part to ASEAN diplomacy and Vietnam's measured approach. Hanoi's strategy blends deterrence with discipline, law with legitimacy, and strength with humanity. It is worth recalling moments when Vietnamese fishermen rescued stranded Chinese sailors even after confrontations at sea, acts that reflect not only compassion but also confidence. In essence, Vietnam is no longer a passive actor, reacting to others' decisions. It is now helping shape the regional environment, economically, diplomatically, and strategically. Its growing role in supply chain realignment, its leadership in ASEAN maritime initiatives, and its quiet coordination with partners like Japan and India all point to one conclusion: Vietnam is becoming the new power player in the South China Sea. Power, after all, is not always about dominance. Sometimes it's about restraint, credibility, and moral strength. Vietnam has shown that influence can come from stability, not aggression, from principles, not pressure. As the US and China continue their strategic rivalry, the South China Sea will remain the front line of this new Cold War. But Vietnam's approach offers a rare lesson. Strength doesn't have to roar to be heard. This is Asia in Focus, bringing you perspectives that look beyond headlines to understand Asia one story at a time.